Well, good morning. Welcome back to A Country Boy Can Cook. On today's menu, homemade spaghetti with meat sauce. Like my mom made it. A couple of little differences, but basically the same. Let me turn this camera over here so you can see. I've got a big pot right there. And I've got it heating right now. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in it. Just going to brown some meat off. We have today, I bought a twin pack of hamburger meat. This is 90/10. It was on sale for, let's see here, how much was it per pound? $3 a pound buying a twin pack. Great buy. It's 90/10, not a lot of fat in it. Now, to be honest, growing up on the farm, we butchered our own cattle. I mean, we didn't, but we had our process. And I can't remember what the fat ratio was. I don't think it was like 70/30 or anything like that. So, anyway, I'm just gonna let that cook away over there. Let it start browning, stir it around, and then we'll go from there. All right, back with you. I moved the camera over here closer to the pan so you can see what's going on. I'm just going to brown this off a little bit. I don't want any real brown on it. I just want it cooked. This is a long time cook, and it's going to be cooked. I don't want a crust on it like a hamburger, which I love on a hamburger, but not in this. I've been cooking this on medium high. It's early. I'm wanting to get this thing simmering. It's going to simmer for a couple of hours. And sorry about all the noise. It's getting close. I think it's pretty close right there. So first thing I'm going to add is just some tomato sauce. This is just some no salt added tomato sauce. And you're probably going to say, wow, that's a lot of sauce. Here's another can. This is a big can. That other was 11 ounces or 14, I think. This right here was whole stewed tomatoes. I think there's one that I missed out of there. What I do, I take, once I open that up, and it's going to cook down, I take and put an immersion blender in a can, and all of a sudden I have crushed tomatoes. I don't have to have two products on the shelf to make one. Yeah, I know crushed is a little different, but not a lot. The flavor's still there, and the thickness is still there. So, now I've got another can of tomato sauce. This is Wally World. Let's see, this is 29 ounces. That'll be about my liquid right there, boys and girls. I mean, you could add some seasoning to it at this point. You could add Sloppy Joe seasoning and make Sloppy Joes out of this. I guess you could add taco seasoning and make a taco sauce to go over salads and stuff. Like I said, it's going to be cooked down. It's going to be thick at the end. So my next deal is I've got a little bit of brown sugar. About that, I've got a little bit of brown sugar, probably maybe a tablespoon for all of this amount. I like brown sugar to take the edge of the bite of the tomato off. A lot of people just put white sugar in. I just find that brown sugar gives it a different depth, flavor depth. My mother would make this during the holidays. It's so funny because we would have gatherings up on the ranch. And you'll hear me refer to it as a ranch or farm. We raise feed for our cattle and horses. And we raise horses and cattle, so I don't know what you call it. Just our place anyway. So we would have a lot of family come up on the holidays. They'd be riding horses. We would quail hunt, do some fishing, and my mother and my aunts would make a big pot of spaghetti. That's all they called it. There wasn't no bolognese and all of that stuff. They just called it spaghetti. And we milked our own cows, so we didn't have any milk cartons. But my aunts would keep theirs. You know, they lived in the city, and wash them out, make sure they were really clean, and they would bring them home to the house. And once we were finished making spaghetti sauce that evening, after it was all finished and everybody was eating whatever was left over, they would take and pour it into those half-gallon milk containers, the cardboard ones, and seal the top, and went in the freezer. I think we would all share that and send some home with the families, and it was a great thing. So, anyway, I'm gonna let this simmer a little bit, and then I'll start adding the spices to it. Back with you in just a little bit. All right, it's time for the rest of the kids to get into the pool. I've got it turned down about medium. I have some Italian seasoning, about 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. I've got 1 teaspoon of basil, half a teaspoon of onion powder, and 1 teaspoon of garlic in here. 2 tablespoons of paprika. Get the camera down here and you can see. And if you're new to my channel, you'll see I'm sitting and cooking at. I hate to explain this all the time, but I have new people ask me, why are you sitting in a chair and cooking? Well, I had a heart event last year about that. I was just getting home last year about this time, and I couldn't walk. Boys and girls. That heart event took my legs away. Well, it didn't, but I couldn't use them anyway. So anyway, in goes the Italian seasoning, the parsley, the garlic and onion powders. Boy, it just immediately went to smelling like pasta sauce, red sauce, spaghetti sauce, whatever you call it. It went to begin smelling good all of a sudden. And this is going to make a lot. And this is just the base. You can see it. Well, got one. I'm going to mash that big tomato up on the side there. He missed my immersion blender. He hid out. Anyway, just stir this around. Make sure there's nothing on the bottom. So back to why I'm sitting in a chair cooking. I was in rehab for about 6 weeks in the hospital. I had to learn to walk again. I came home on a walker and could walk about 10 foot. And this last year, I have tested myself and got so I can walk. I can go in the grocery store now. I'm slow, but that's okay. I'm 70. I don't care. I'm in no hurry to get anywhere. So, anyway, so that's why I cook sitting out of a chair. I can stand up, but it's a lot easier. Plus, I'm 6'2". I have a tripod with a light on it, and this little tripod that I have my telephone on that I'm recording this with. And for me, I tried it one time. For me to get my phone up in the air tall enough to film me and what I'm cooking, not with my telephone, it don't work that way. In the first place, I can't see the screen to see what I'm even recording at that distance. So anyway, I'm going to let this simmer for a little bit, and I'll just bring you back. We'll do a taste test and see where it's at this point. Now I'll take you to the next step. Alright, my spaghetti sauce with meat has been cooking away for about 25 minutes. It's still pretty runny still, but I'll show you the reason I make it like that, because my mother did this. That's the way I was always served it, and it was a lot easier. So, Hold on just a minute. You got to put your pasta in. Yeah, I did not cook the pasta and boil it. I've got some pasta right here. I've broken, it was about a 50-cent piece size around of this pasta, this spaghetti. And I broke it in half and I just put it in here. Easier to manage. I know you think I'm going to the water with salt and water and boil it. But oh no. Yeah, we're gonna just put it right here in the sauce. That sauce is plenty liquid. You can see it's got plenty. And just take and dump it in. Make it easy on yourself. Why mess up another pot? Just take and dunk it down in there, make sure everything's covered. Keep cooking it on low. And I promise you, this pasta will cook in here. Not only will it cook, it'll have the flavor of the spaghetti in it. It won't be, no, it will not be out the dente or whatever they call that. It'll be cooked. I'm not a fan of that tooth filling in the middle of dry pasta or pasta when it's cooked and they say it's cooked. I like my cooked. Sorry, I was raised like that and that's what I prefer. So anyway, there's how I cook my spaghetti in red sauce. Or I just call it spaghetti. Alright. So tell me, do you cook pasta and red sauce and spaghetti and noodles and all that stuff? And how do you make yours? I've taken and made the spaghetti with the meat sauce by itself, poured it over noodles that I cooked in boiling water. But you know, this turns out really good. My mother did this. Said they would after the stuff was cooked, they would put it in half-gallon milk cartons. If there was any left, there may have not been any left. This was usually served New Year's. It's when we had our big family gathering at the ranch. So I remember one wonderful evening, we had been clearing a road to get to a piece of property to get the cattle out of it easier than going around the backside. It was about 2,000 acres. And I mean, to clear a road was us. We took a chainsaw and we just cut the stumps down as low as possible, let them rot out, and then drove through there, whether they were horses or cattle. We were cutting this big oak tree, and there was a guy that would, he would take the oak and make, sell it for firewood. So he was down there cutting that big oak one day, and he hollered at my dad and I. We were cutting just as brush getting out of the way. And he said, "Man, there's bees all in this tree." So we looked, and there was a hive, beehive up in the top, and getting some bubbles over here, bubbling, toiling trouble, and it, you could see up on the top, on about halfway up the base of this is about a 2.5 foot tree. There was bees coming out of a knothole. He said, "Well, let's just wait till it cools down, cooler time of the year, and we'll cut that tree down." It had to be moved. We didn't have a choice. And now that I look back at it, we should have cut it in the springtime. I don't know how many bees were lost that night. After we cut that tree down, we split that tree open, and there was about 8 foot of honey running up in this big hollow. I remember they kept going. They went to my aunt's, I went to my mother's, our neighbors, which was about a mile away, and borrowed these big old roasting pans to put all of this in there. And they kept it for a couple of days and cleaned it up, and everybody had honey for years. It was wild honey. It was really dark. It was really good. But my uncle, which was my uncle, he was the one that cutting the trees for firewood. He said, "We're just going to leave part of this in here, and that'll give something to the bees to eat on." It wasn't freezing weather. It was just cool weather. So the next day we came down there. There was a few dead bees around, but most of them were gone. And that 99% of that honey was gone. So we just left it, and within a week, there was no hive left. There was no, I don't know what ate it, but I don't know if the bees got it or what, but it was all gone. So that big old oak tree sure gave us some good eating. And that was a memorable night. We cut that bee tree down. My cousin and I were just talking about this the other day. One bee got at one of my, I don't know if it was my uncle or my cousin's pants, and he went to holler. That bee had got him on the leg and stung him on the leg. And but anyway, it was a success that night and great memories. So I'm gonna let this cook on down. 30 minutes, an hour, I don't know. We'll just have to come back and check it. And I'll bring you back when I come check it, and we'll do a taste test. And there's a couple of more things I'm going to put into this. I'm going to put some Parmesan cheese into this mixture. And of course, I'm going to put it on top of it when I'm eating it. But we'll just catch you in a few minutes. Well, welcome back. Let's see. I stirred this one time. Get you around here so you can see what's going on here. I brought them and put a lid on it. You can see what it looks like there. I just brought everything from the bottom to the top. You can see the spaghetti's well cooked. And this is the way my mother would fix spaghetti. We just never, it was just spaghetti to us. So let me get a bowl and do a taste test here. It's early. This is our dinner, but the old dude can have some in the morning. I actually like spicy foods in the morning. All right. Let me get the camera around. I'll be right back with you. All right, back with you. I've got a little bit out here. I'm going to put my favorite stuff on it, which is stinky cheese. Yeah, Parm. And it's just out of the container you can get in the grocery store. No hand grated stuff for us. I like a little spaghetti with my Parm. I like red pepper flakes, and if you and your family like red pepper flakes in your pasta, you can just go ahead and put them when you're putting the sauce. My wife is not a big fan of that. So, anyway. And you'll see, because I broke the pasta in two, it's a little bit more manageable. All right, let's see here. Get about it, this goodness here. It's going to be somewhat hot. The noodles are great. The sauce is wonderful. I mean, what else do you want? Yeah, that's so good. I'm glad I'm having this for breakfast. So, I'll tell you a couple other things you probably never thought about. Maybe never putting the noodles in when you're cooking your red sauce. Just saves another pan, just one pan to clean up. You can also take noodles and put them in like a sheet cake pan. Whatever you're going to use for, a meal for a couple of people, put them in the bottom, sprinkle a little salt over the top, and just put cold water and let them sit for about an hour or two. They'll become soft too. You can put them in your pasta sauce. Noodles, it ain't rocket science, like a lot of people want to make you think, oh, cook this and cook that. And, hey, I'm just an old country boy. I know what I like and I know what tastes good. So, thanks for joining with me. Coming to have a spaghetti at breakfast. And if you have any questions about this video, please shoot me a comment. I'll try to answer all of them I can. So like, share, comment, and definitely subscribe. I'm at about 750 subscriptions right now, which is a long way from where I thought I would be a couple of years ago when I started this. I remember saying, yay, I made 100 subscribers. So thank you for everybody for being there for me. And the old dude is out here to eat my pasta.